Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hegel Wise Clown. I'm an empath, and I do these daily channelings of how I just see things, how I pick up on things. I believe that we're all just radios, and we dial in with how we take care of ourselves and our tools. We maintain our radio, making sure all the parts are working and stuff, and there's no corrosion on the wires, things aren't eating away at us, and we're keeping things optimal so we can receive the messages that we need to receive or give. It's a two-way street, because oftentimes the stuff that I say when I play back as I upload, I listen to it one time, my stories, and that's when I'm uploading. I listen to what I say and I'm like, sometimes I surprise myself. Anyway, when the student is ready, the teacher's ready too. Yeah. So I try not to think too much about, think too much about what I'm gonna say, because the best talks come from the heart, and when I try and think too much about and set the stage too much, I'm trying to control things too much, and I have an idea of how I think they should be, and that just lets me know that my ego is on, for whatever reason, active, And then I gotta stop and I gotta think, why is your ego, where are you feeling small there, Marjo? Where are you feeling a little not taking care? Where are you not taking care of yourself? Because only you are gonna take care of you. I learned that a long, 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 long time ago. I learned how to self-soothe slowly but surely. I didn't even know how to relax until I was in my late 30s. Like, relax, because I've always had that vibration. I've always been, my endocrine system, my nerves have always been high alert, extra sensory, because I'm always picking up on stuff. I've never gone by people by, you know, first, first impressions, because like first impressions, think about it. First impressions, how often do you? I just go by your energy, I don't even. I just go how people feel, and if they're balanced, I can feel that, and if they're imbalanced, I can feel that too, and I can feel the imbalance in other people, and I don't like it. I know what all the effort and the work that it took to get the balanced out in myself, and all the ugly, gross stuff I had to look at, and how for a long time I had resented people that were born into families where they were take care of each other and looked out for each other and called each other and traveled great distances to see each other, and to have that actual connection. And I used to resent anybody that had that. It's because I didn't have it. And what happened is I found it within myself. I was able to find it within myself. And I looked for it in all kinds of places. I looked for it at the bottom of a booze bottle. I looked for it in cigarettes. I looked for it in relationships with anyone that would give me attention. Even though if it was negative attention, I looked for it everywhere. And finally, my path opened up and I was able to get quiet, and for a long time, I could just meditate. I'm up to, it depends. Some days I can't meditate at all. Some days I can't calm myself down because the energy is just, so fiery, and I'm an Aries, So it's like, you have people that are feeling fiery energies, you have the baseline of where, and then there's people feeling fiery energies, and then there's Aries, right? So some days I can't come down to 0.0. So I go for extra walks, stuff like that. I use my energy in more positive ways, because I used to, get bored and then I'd drink, and then I'd freaking go out and I'd cause trouble, and then I'd have to repair the trouble that I caused. And well, it's just easier to stay out of trouble than it is to get out of trouble. So lesson learned. People like I was saying with energy, I feel people's energy, and I get tells. We all tell. We set ourselves up with all the information we need to know. We just have to be able to open and receptive to receiving it. And people, when they're closed-minded, they're not so open and receptive to see when they have an idea of things, they don't want to see how things can be different because they like things just the way they are, you know. You mess with people's way of thinking and you disrupt that, it causes a lot of problems. It's that dissidence, the disease in it. You know, I was laying here because, like, my time's all weird and the clocks change and all that crap, you know. All those old paradigms continuing to fall down, and, you know, and I found, you know, I'm always trying to fine tune and do things with the least amount of resistance, because that's where freaking the stress is, you know, and that's where, you know, frustration and anger and all that stuff is. So it's like, you know, my dog starts to whine in the morning, just like, it doesn't matter, you know, you know the outcome, you're gonna get up and feed him, you know. So me laying there not being happy with the reality of my situation, because it's, you know, early and I don't want to get up out of my warm bed to feed the dogs, because I know it's not just feeding them, and then they have to go out. So, and then I'm not going back to sleep, you know. But then I, you know, I started making conscious decisions of things that I can make that process more smooth and less resistance, you know. Don't look at the clock. You don't need to know what time it is. Benny's goes by his stomach, you know, and that's part of what I get to do as a human to make it right for him, because he was abandoned by another human. So I'm, you know, cleaning up I'm trying to do good by him as a human, because he was been so neglected by humans, you know, trying to make that right. So, you know, and I don't look at the clock, because it doesn't matter if it's 3:30 in the morning or 4:30, or it doesn't matter. He's hungry and I'm going to feed him, because I'm not going to have that feeling of need, you know. And it hasn't always been easy for me, because, for one, I never knew how to express it within myself, you know, because I tried, and every time I tried to express, you know, my desires and my heartfelt needs and things like that, I wasn't open to warm and receptive, you know. Okay, yeah, let's do that. I'd be glad to hang out with you, honey, you know. I didn't get that. I got, what do you expect me to do? Ignore everyone else and spend time with you? Yeah, you don't talk to a 6-year-old like that. But he thought it was a good idea. Whatever. Just gives me character, you know. Just gives me character. When I say, like, here's an example. When I was talking about the balance earlier within somebody, when like a woman is like really overly too feminine, you know, where's the balance in that? Where's the masculinity in that? You know, where do they show up to show that they're a balanced human being? And when it's a man's all freaking macho, freaking, you know, all the things that people think define masculinity, long beards, freaking whatever, tattoos, whatever, girth, freaking muscles, whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, but where's the femininity in that? Where's the feminine side of you? Or you know, did you play with dolls once when you were a kid, and then, you know, somebody teased you and you weren't strong enough to stand in your conviction and be like, what, dolls are fun to play with, you know? Because whatever, for standing, you know, so you just succumb to them, and so you overcompensated with your, you know, it doesn't matter the gender, it's the energy that overcompensates within the person, and then they act out on it. You know, all this years and years, women are terrible drivers, men are well, you never drove with my grandpa, you know. All this stuff that people forever have put genders and ethnicities and colors on, and attribute them to behaviors, y'all are doing it wrong. It's all vibration. Either you vibe high in love, or you vibe low and grieve and self-serving shit. There ain't nothing else to it. There is nothing else to it. This human experience, than raising people up in frequency or drawing and taking from them. You know, and secrets. Secrets? I don't believe in secrets, because you know what? You know why I tell the worst thing about me openly? The worst things I've done, because nobody can find out the worst things I've done and hold those things against me. So when I live out loud, and you know, sometimes I'll I remember you know, that expression when you show your ass, you know, sometimes I get up and my butt's hanging out. I'll pull up my pants as fast as I snow it, but I ain't trying to do it on purpose, you know. But some people do that on purpose just because they want to get a rise out of you. But all this truth is coming out. You can't hide that lower vibrational stuff, who you are. You know, look at all this sex trafficking stuff coming out, and I can't wait to see the more ties that they find with that in the sports pros, because men love their trophies that like to overcompensate. You know, they didn't play with the dolls when they're young, so now they're trying to make up for it. All this weird, twisted shit. People do weird shit, man. Their psychology of people, it's weird. Stuff that they hang on to and deem important. But you know, if you never had materialistic stuff, a lot of it, or I mean, I've been around it. I've stayed in five-star hotels. You know, I've lived in the lap of luxury, and I'll spend $100 on a decent steak, and or I used to, you know, and all this stuff for experience, because we're all trying to have experiences. But the thing is some people are having their incarnations where their experiences they're having are negative, you know, and they think it's success, and they're finding out that it's not, and that's why Justin Bieber's having his cry for help, because, you know, he's coming in with his masculine and feminine and merging, and he doesn't know what to do with these female emotions. Well, talk to your wife. How does she deal with it? You know, people are afraid to have open conversations and be truthful, because, oh no, somebody might hold that against you. Well, you draw that as a strength and not as a weakness. Only you can do that for yourself. I hope you have a rad day. Peace.